Okay, let's jump right into this. Welcome to this explainer, where we're breaking down the mechanics and honestly, the absolutely incredible story behind that highly anticipated grappling match between Ankit Baiyanpuria and UFC fighter Arman Tsarukyan. Now, if you follow combat sports or fitness culture, you absolutely know these names. But what actually happened inside that cage? Well, it goes way beyond a simple win or loss. We're going to look at exactly how an internet fitness icon stood toe-to-toe with one of the most dangerous men on the planet.
Right out of the gate, public sentiment was, well, incredibly one-sided. I mean, look at these numbers. We've got a staggering 97% of people predicting Arman would just completely dominate. And, in the combat sports world, it's super rare to see odds skewed this heavily. But fans looked at the raw data and made a pretty logical conclusion. Only 3% held out hope for a miracle.
So, Section 1, the ultimate underdog match. Let's set the stage and see exactly why the public had virtually zero faith in our underdog.
The sheer contrast here is literally a modern-day David versus Goliath. On one hand, you've got Arman. He's a seasoned, elite professional competing in the UFC, a guy who essentially breathes grappling. And then on the other side, there's Ankit. Now, Ankit is a phenomenal athlete, absolutely beloved for his intense daily fitness challenges, but he stepped into this cage with almost no grappling background whatsoever. Having incredible cardio is one thing, but applying that against a world-class technician on the mat, that's an entirely different universe.
And when I say no grappling background, I really mean it. Just 10 days, Ankit stepped in against a UFC veteran with only 10 days of grappling training. Think about that for a second. 10 days to learn how to defend takedowns, protect your neck, and just survive against a guy who spent thousands of hours perfecting how to break human bodies. It's wild.
That intense lack of experience brings us right to Section 2, define the 1-minute myth.
Before the bell even rang, the prevailing narrative from critics, haters, and even neutral analysts was loud and clear. Ankit wouldn't survive a single minute against Arman's pressure. Everyone expected Arman to just shoot, take him down instantly, and lock in a submission before we could even blink.
But, actually, Ankit completely shattered those expectations. He blew right past that 1-minute prediction, using pure grit and raw defensive instincts to push the match well past the 3-minute mark. He didn't just survive a quick scramble, either. He endured a sustained, grueling grappling exchange against a top-tier pro.
So how exactly do you survive that kind of onslaught? Let's get into Section 3, takedowns, escapes, and suplexes. The first few minutes were just absolute chaos. Just 30 seconds in, Arman does exactly what we all expected. He scores a clean takedown and goes straight for a vicious neck choke. But here's where the script totally flips. Ankit miraculously defends the hold, breaks the grip, and manages to stand back up. The crazy thing is, Arman was genuinely confused because his opponent simply refused to quit. So what does a UFC fighter do? He takes Ankit's back and launches him with a massive suplex. And incredibly, Ankit survived that too, bouncing right back to the defensive. Because Ankit kept breaking out of these super dangerous positions, stuff that would make a normal person tap out just from the panic alone. The fans went absolutely crazy. The livestream chat was just flooded with W. Ankit showering him with respect. Sure, his technique wasn't perfectly polished, but everyone watching realized his heart and physical resilience were totally off the charts. But despite that heroic defense, Goliath eventually caught up to David. Let's look at Section 4, the final submission.
The climax of this intense back and forth was remarkable. Ankit had fought his way out of 3 separate major holds, literally forcing Arman to completely rethink his strategy on the fly. But, you can only play defense against a master for so long. Eventually, Arman's elite experience kicked in. He trapped Ankit in a bad position and locked in a deep, inescapable arm choke to finally end the match.
But I want to bring it back to this number for a second. 3. Surviving for over 3 minutes and successfully defending multiple chokes against an active UFC fighter, that is a massive victory in itself. For a guy with less than 2 weeks of mat time, those 3 minutes are an absolute triumph of willpower over technique.
Which brings us to the emotional aftermath of the bout in our final section, Section 5, earning respect.
For all the critics who were talking trash, saying it'd be an embarrassing washout or a huge mistake for Ankit to even step into that cage, well, he proved them entirely wrong. His grit just fundamentally silenced the haters. He might not have won the match on paper, but he absolutely won the respect of everyone watching, especially the grappling community.
And Ankit's post-fight speech perfectly captured that unyielding spirit. Breathing heavy, standing tall, he grabbed the mic, thanked his supporters and dropped this powerful quote, "I come back stronger. This is my first match, not last." And then he ended it with a resounding sign-off praising his homeland, saying, "Victory to Mother India. No excuses, just a promise to evolve."
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question. If a man can step into a cage, face a world-class martial artist, and earn the profound respect of the combat sports world with merely 10 days of practice, just imagine what he might do next time. What happens when Ankit Baiyanpuria gets a full training camp? It's a fascinating thought, and it's exactly why we love breaking down these incredible moments. Thanks for exploring this with me today, and keep that curiosity alive.